once you find your niche, once you find your setup, once you find your edge, tunnel vision, baby. It is towards that and eliminating everything else.
Even if I don't see any mistakes now, I know there are going to be some in the future because I'm going to be trading more and seeing more ways my setups play out.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Gen Traders YouTube channel. We are filming this on Saturday, November 20th. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thanksgiving week is right around the corner. Market is closed on Thursday, if you are not aware. But as you can see, it's me, Alex, and Xander. We're back for this episode. We got a good one coming out, just adjusting to a much slower market, obviously, as it has been. And we'll talk about this later, but in past episodes, we have we thought by this time that the market would be, a little bit hotter than it is, but it's not yet. But so we're just reacting to that. But anyways, we're going to go with our usual schedule. We're going to talk about how our week is going, as well as the listed and OTC markets. We'll talk about some trades, some lessons we have, and any notes that we took throughout the week. And then we'll get into a little open discussion at the end to finish it off. And Xander will take us out with the outro. So without further ado, Xander's going to talk about how his week is going first. So.
Yeah, so my week was great compared to my last week, which was like me not following the process, and that caused me to be red. And it's crazy because whenever I don't follow my process, I'm red, and whenever I do, I'm not red. So that's what I chose. That's what I focused on this week, just following my process, and it was a nice comeback. Technically, I made back like half the loss of last week, and then my first week was really good. So I'm green on the month so far. And I'll go into like a little bit more about my trades and exactly my process later. But yeah, it's been great.
Nice. For me this week just very slow. Nothing like to even say about, like no mistakes, nothing, like not even just two trades. That's the only thing. Like not even like a lot of missed trades. Just very slow. Like I don't know. I'm just bored every day. I don't know, like I'm just like I don't have anything to like review after the day, or I don't know, just surviving, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good way to put it.
Crazy that it's like already almost December. I don't believe it.
I know.
Dude, it's going fast. Time is freaking flying. But yeah, my week was pretty good. Compared to the last few weeks, it was much better. I only had one avoidable mistake instead of multiple, so that's good news. Yeah, as Alex said, the market hasn't been super hot, but obviously LGVN was crazy. I had a few missed trades. I only had 2 trades this week, and that was probably the least amount of trades I've ever had in a week since I started trading listed stocks in July. So yeah, I mean that was different to get used to. Waiting around 3 whole days without a trade, but I learned a lot of lessons from it, and ready to come out a better trader in the next week ahead. So that's really it. Improving on mistakes and not making as many as I used to, and cleaning it up next week. So that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, we can go into the market conditions with the listed market. Honestly, a lot of people, like some people will disagree based on your strategy in the market, but I would say we're really hot in terms of like volatility and what was it? I forget the ticker so much. LCVN. LGVN, yeah. I suck at remembering tickers, but yeah, that one was like a huge mover. And like we've had these little, like these one or two stocks that go crazy. It lights up the market for a little bit. Meaning we get a lot more gappers that maybe, like, if you don't want to consider this market hot because it doesn't, like, for your setup it's not showing up. But in terms of like how many gappers we're getting, like we've been pretty hot, like consistently five stocks I would say that are gapping over like 20%, which is good. That's hot compared to slow markets where we have 1 or 2. So in that aspect it's been good. And for shorts, anything that, like, shorts just want range because these companies are so trash that, like, on every ticker there's a lot of short opportunity, I would say. And so like if there's a gapper, there's probably a short opportunity. For longs, you have to be a lot more selective. So maybe it's been harder for you. It probably definitely has, because the market that longs have it easiest are where the stocks just go up and up and up, and all you have to do is buy the dip. So yeah, that's the kind of markets that longs really like, and it's easiest for them. And something to be aware of is if you're in the listed market, there's something called Turkey Crack Week, and basically that's when in Thanksgiving week specifically, it's kind of like a thing that happens every year. All these companies want to all these funds too, not just the companies. They want to end their year strong financially, so investors and people are happy. And so and then people go on vacation during Thanksgiving week. So the volume is the liquidity is light. And so these manipulators, pumpers, they pump the stocks to the moon because there's low liquidity. So they could just spike them. And they do that so the companies can end green on the year. And so that's what happens with Turkey Crack Week. And so historically, this next week should be really hot for longs. So maybe keep an eye out. The real test will be Monday, because Friday I was expecting Friday to be a lot more hot than it was. It was kind of just, I thought things were gonna go up, but things just went down. But I think Monday will be the real sign. Something to look out for is if the hot chick pre-market is gapping and it's hot, it's going up. If market open, it continues to go up. That shows you how hot the market is. But when the market is like, it's not too hot, what will happen is the hot chick will be going up pre-market, and then market open within like 15 minutes, it'll have some kind of confirmation and it'll be down and it'll be fading. Like LGVN, that had that massive stuff and it was done. But the previous day it was hot pre-market, and then market open, it continued to be hot, and that tells you how hot the market is. That's kind of like a way to tell. So if things are hot in pre-market and continue to be hot after market open, then the market is kind of long biased, and you should look for that continuing in the week. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. The listed market is definitely not like slow. It's not like watching paint dry at all. But for me personally, I thought Monday and Wednesday were not good, but Tuesday, Thursday were really good. That's just for me personally. Obviously, it's not slow, but I have multiple missed trades this week, and that's nobody's fault to blame except for mine. And yeah, it's definitely not slow by any means, but I like what you said about momentum in the first 15 minutes, 30 minutes of the day, and that's how you can really tell. Okay, here's where the volume's at, where the market's at, who's kind of in control, I guess you could say. But yeah, as Xander said, Turkey Crack Week. That's the first time that I've really heard an in-depth explanation about what it is. So, if that ends up happening and, these pumpers are coming in and these companies want to end green, then fantastic. We'll react to the price action. So that's about it with the listed market. And Alex is going to cover OTCs.
Yeah. So as I said before, they're very slow. I would say even worse than the last week. But Monday was good. Monday had like a few runners. Then the rest of the week, just nothing really. Like I didn't see any A+ for me personally. I took one like nice setup that was kind of like A+, but due to the market it was an A+. Then the second one's the same reason why it's not A+. So it's still kind of like I don't even know how to explain this market. Like when I talk to many OTC traders, they're like they're just saying when like I don't know what to do, like what to say. This is just no words to explain. Just reacting. That's the only thing I can do. Just not pushing size when it's not there, like when the setup is not there, when it's not suggesting going full size. Yeah, unfortunately, like that was the month when I wanted to size up, but I just can't size up when there's like I have to have a lot of trades to size up. Like you cannot just size up after one good trade. So yeah, that's not the market when you should size up. That's what I think.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome.
Yeah, I think OTCs will have like a hot moment, and things are really separated. So like you have the listed small caps, the OTC market, large caps, crypto, and so you have all these like different kind of little markets and their niches, and those are hot. So I think Bitcoin, crypto, and everything was super hot, and then it had the couple big red days. Now small caps are hot. Who knows? Maybe OTCs are next, but it's all kind of like there's sectors kind of.
Yeah, I think it's fitting that in Jack Kellogg's latest breakouts and breakdowns webinar, someone asked him if he thinks the OTC market is going to be as hot as it was last year. And he says, I don't think it's going to be as hot as it was last year, but there's definitely going to be more volume coming in because a lot of top traders say that, the winter 2020 was just won't be matched for a while. And if it is, then, that's fine. If that's like one of the tops that we see in terms of like, everything running, then that's completely fine. But he said it was definitely going to get a little bit hotter. So.
And also he said it's like when everyone says it's gonna start getting hot in December or like in the winter, it's like when you have a risk of the support is there because everyone thinks it is a support. So same thing here, like if everyone says in the winter is gonna start, then they're gonna go to the market in the winter and it's gonna like become hot by itself. So I'm hoping for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, I can get into some of my trades in my week. So this is basically my month of November so far. It's been, the first week was really solid, like really solid. My first week was as big as all of my October, and that was awesome. But then I had 3 big losses the next week, which basically made me come back down to break even. And those losses were each of those 3 were non-niche setups that wasn't my setup. And then I was like, okay, I got to get back to my setup. And that was this trade. Actually, I don't know about this loss. That might've been, let me see. Oh, right. That trade was just a mistake. That was just a mistake that was a really good lesson, really. And I'll talk about that. And then, so all these were processed as you see, like very profitable. I'm getting back to the highs. And then this next week is really hot. So with short, I'm going to be really careful. I've sized down like 50%. So I'm just going to go through my trades and then tell you if it was processed or not, and you'll see. So this trade, and this is all of October. So this was pure process. Stock is under VWAP. I shorted the pop to VWAP on market open, and I covered the wash. Something I need to work on is trades that work out perfectly as I'm entering them. I need to be more patient on the exits because I left a lot of meat on the table on all my trades pretty much. So BKKT, this one was kind of out of the process, but also since it was a little bit out of the process, I needed to nail bail, and that paid off. It was a nice little trade at VWAP after this major death candle. So yeah, with this one, AMC, this was broken down pre-market. I planned to scale, and as you saw, like this was a crazy stock that day. So I needed to be nail bail, and that's what I did. And it happened to be the bottom, and it went on a huge run. A lot of people got chopped up on that. So that was a nice trade. So this was an example of me not following the process. Basically, what I do is short already broken down stocks. As you can see here, I was shorting the hot chick. And I did wait for a stuff confirmation pre-market, but it was just non-niche. And I don't know, it's just not my setup. So of course I'm going to take a loss on it. This was another trade where I did not follow my process, EVGO. As you can see, like this does not look like my normal charts. Here I'm literally I thought it was overextended. And so for some reason, I thought the top was set. And so for some reason, I decided to just get in with the tight stop. And as you can see, I got stopped out and then it had like a small wash. Like overall, this is a large cap. I shouldn't even be trading a large cap. And I don't know. I'm not going to take these trades anymore. And this week I did not take any of these trades, so I did good.
Whoa, so, this is later in the day.
This was
what
a little
the heck?
Yeah.
Xander's trading
so
during
with
midday.
Root.
Ooh.
Yeah. So with Root, this was a little bit of a different setup, and I'm not mad for trading this because this is a setup that I want to get good at. Basically, it's the end of day clear out. This isn't really end of day, but it can happen anywhere after like 11 o'clock, but pretty much. So what happens is these riggers, they push the stock up in the morning, they consolidate or whatever. They usually have a clear out and then they fade, and then they trap it back up to high day. And once it breaks high day, usually near the end of the day, they trap shorts again and then they fade it again. And so that's the setup I'm starting to trade. Of course, I can't really do it too much because of school, but it's a really good setup. It has high probability and great risk reward, and so I'm looking to get into it. And this trade, I failed to recognize when the setup stopped working. So as you can see, I was scaling pretty wide on this. I still took like under a 1 hour loss, like literally under half R, I think, because I knew I'm new at this setup. I'm gonna size down, and I knew I didn't know exactly how much room I needed to give it since it's over high day. So I knew to just stay small size the whole time. But yeah, a lot of these setups work, and what you'll see is it'll kind of go over high day, maybe 10, 20 cents, and then it'll just crack back down and fade the rest of the day. And so this one, it just didn't work out. So that was the problem with there. And to end it off, I will show you all a perfect trade of my process. Actually, I'll show you guys my GovX trade and then my Crex trade. All right. So Crex is my exact process. This is the trade that I look for every day. It's my bread and butter. Just the view up reject on a broken day one stock pre-market. And I got amazing entries on this. So first I started the resistance here. You guys can see my lines 270, 280, 290. That's where I was willing to scale. I literally top ticked my second entry. And the best part about this, like I swear my entries on this trade was A+. The best part about it was my ad. So we have this pretty big wash handle. And then on the bounce, I'm starting to practice tape reading and level 2 and price action, just feeling it. And it was super weak. So I just slammed on another big amount, lowered my risk, and then it washed down. And like I said, a problem I've had is covering too soon. But this stock did kind of chop around all day. So my covers weren't too bad, but I should have been a little more patient. But so the exits need work, but the entries were A+ on this. So I'm glad about this trade. It's my bread and butter. So this is what I look for every time.
Oh yeah, this is clean.
All right, so GovX was another amazing trade, and I really like this one because it's a little different than what I usually trade, but it's also I was able to recognize the opportunity, and a lot of like big Twitter short traders traded this. Of course, they did a lot better than me, and they faded it, but I did pretty good for it. So I started in on the morning pop. And if I'm over PT, I would cover some at the support to reshort the pop. But of course, I'm getting over PT this week, actually. So I'll be over PT at the next episode, which is crazy, finally. Wow. But yeah, I shorted the resistance here, willing to scale all the way to high day, small size with the stop over high pre-market high day. But it did reject because of a hidden seller on the level 2. And we had a massive reject, so I just slammed in size. Slamming is one of my bad habits, but I'm actually starting to track it on my trader view just with a tag, and I actually think it'll be more beneficial than not. I just need to be able to recognize when to chase and when not to chase, because like a lot of time it can mess you up if you chase wrongly. But if you're smart about it, you can chase. And on GovX I did, because this was also a farmer pump. So this is a pump. There's a lot of longs trapped overhead. So it's high probability. And once it broke this this green line you see, it's done. And that's where my last slam was. I covered some on the wash down for my first cover, just to take profits and lower my risk. And then if I was over PT, I would reshort the pop back to this significant line. And that's where I would load the boat. I would literally load the boat, like big size. This time I can have a tighter stop, and it's even more high probability. And then it had a nice wash. I covered into that. But then I got emotional. What I should have done was set cover targets and just walked away, left the screens. And I did have to go to school like pretty soon after my last cover. But I got emotional. I was like, oh, I don't want to get back gains. But I failed to recognize the second half of the trade, how much opportunity this was and how A+ this was just to hold all day, honestly. And a lot of traders did really good on this, but I think I did all right for kind of like a different trade. Yeah,
I love this right here on GovX.
Yeah,
sorry, I interrupted. My bad.
So yeah, next week I'm just. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, so next week I'm just focused on just sticking to my process even more. Only trading setups that are clear as day. If I see a setup, I'm like, yeah, that's my setup. I'm gonna trade it. If I look at it and I'm like, I'm just not gonna trade it because I need to build discipline to not take a trade in the day, and I need to build discipline to just wait for my setup because that's
100%.
what's gonna lead to consistency.
Yep. Yep. Love it. Amazing.
Lance, you had some comments about his trade.
I did, but he already took the chart off, and it might take a long time to load, but it's okay. I paper shorted GOVX,
Oh.
and he already took it down, so it's fine.
We'll just talk
But
about it.
Yeah,
I felt super comfortable on it. Can you put the chart back up for me, actually?
Yeah.
On this GovX trade, I really loved it. I actually paper shorted this on the crack below the support level right here at 480. I shorted the pop at 475 with risk on 490. That the previous little support level there, and then I covered it in the 440s. Obviously, it was a paper short. I can't short yet, but you know, I'm just dabbling my feet into certain things that I'm comfortable with, and when I'm able to, I'll be able to capitalize. And I'm, you know, just learning new strategies and new setups is always a great idea. And yeah, there's always more to learn. So that's just all I wanted to add. That's it.
Awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, so Alex is going to go over his trades next. So
look at Lance using short seller terminologies. Short of the pop. Oh yeah.
yes, sir. Crack below low a day, short the pop.
At least sometimes crack below low day is a good thing, huh?
Yeah.
So this was my first trade on HYSR. I took this pretty textbook setup on the 50-minute on the daily chart and on the 50-minute chart. So we see it tried to break here. I saw this end of the day move right here, but it was just too early. And then the next day just had a gap up, gap down, and then panic. So I thought it just needed more time. And then when it had this day, I entered there, and let me show you on the 50-minute chart here it is. So we see this consolidation here, and this first entry right when it broke this trend line on the 8 trigger 0.08, and then the good thing is I added. This was I think the second time I added. So these two entries are perfect. Like we see, I had this my first entry, and then I stuck to my risk even through this pull. And then we had the end of the day move right here, and yeah, the rest I'll explain here. Because the setup itself was pretty textbook, but it still wasn't perfect because of the market. So that's how I traded it. I mean, on the 1 minute, it looks pretty choppy. So I had my first entry here. You see a little below the trigger because I saw on the level 2, and my initial risk was green red, so it was pretty wide. So I used a very small position here because that was a small position and also just half. And then I decided to move it here because it was just like very, like not just illiquid, but it just didn't have enough like strength, I don't know, to just like think it's gonna break and then hold the level. Like if it just broke this, it would be dead for me. So I moved it here, and then I added here on this nice break. And I think I know Jack Kellogg, he bought it here into the close at like 83. And I mean, because I watched a lot of his videos when he was explaining the 50-minute chart, how like perfectly is consolidation, then you have an early entry before the breakout, and then when everybody buys, you can sell, and that's like a huge risk reward. I think the win rate is like 60-70, but obviously when it doesn't work, you lose 1 hour or even less, as I did in this case. But when it works, like at least 4 hours, so pretty profitable. We had a nice gap, not gap, had a nice morning spike, and I really thought it was gonna go. And then just I think it was this one when like a huge seller came. I'm not sure, but probably this one, like a 500K seller came. Then he became 1 million, and then he just, oh yeah, it was him, and then just dumped the stock. Right, like just look at this brutal panic, and I didn't even stick. I think when I was talking to other trader, he wanted to risk the low here, because you know it's not like an exact science to what is your risk should be on the next day, because it had a morning spike, so I didn't know what to really risk, like a low day or risk green red or still the same risk. So I just decided to sell here. It was a very small, not even a fourth of an hour, but the pattern overall was perfect. So I'm glad that I added here, that I didn't hesitate and I added to probably, I think that was like about full size, but still a little less because of the market. I didn't want to go all. So yeah, the overall setup was perfect and just didn't work again because of the market. I don't know. That's the only reason I can say why it didn't work. And then, so this trade was very nice because all week, that was on Friday. So that trade was on Monday to Tuesday when I sold. So I swung on Monday, and this was on Friday. The chart is pretty, like, you see it's literally like in the lows, but it was like on this support somewhere here, like at 40. So it had, like, before the open, I saw it had news. It had news, and it had news also. This stock had news. And I don't know if you know about George Sharp. I think Jack Kellogg talked about him. So George Sharp, whatever his name, he's like a promoter, but he's also CEO of this stock. And the news was, if you look here, the news was that this stock bought 2 million of HMBL. I mean, 10 million, like 10 million shares of HMBL. So like, basically this stock bought the other stock. So I was trading, I was looking at this stock because it had more volume. Like, I mean, look at the price action. This was more cleaner than this. You see, this had just a morning move.
Yeah.
Actually, this was kind of a trigger, but obviously that just nothing. Then it just like very liquid, so I wasn't touching it because HMBL had more volume, even though the price is 10 times more. So it was more liquid. It just started moving right away in the morning. I didn't really, it never offered an entry for me. Like, where should I enter here? Like, looking at this chart, there's no place for me to enter, and I just decided to let it just settle itself, just do whatever you want, and then just come back for late day. And then I saw late day, it was having this, not late day, actually that was midday approaching like 2 p.m., 1 p.m. So I saw this 5 trigger, 0.5, right here. And I saw this somewhere here, and I decided to get a starter on the break of 5, risking 48.5. But then I said, if like starter only because it's like almost midday. But then since we came closer to the 2 p.m., I should have used full size right away, but I didn't. That was only like $15 risk right here. So I got a nice entry actually. This was very nice because I waited for the break because I wanted like the real confirmation. And then the thing here, so I want to talk about adding because there were a lot of times to add. First add for me perfectly was this on the break of 51, because this is like the high below the latest high below the high day. So, but it just happened like really quickly. I didn't even had time to think about it. So then I wanted to add here. I was debating with myself, like I was like putting the orders, then canceling, like, and also the level 2 wasn't very clean, so the spread wasn't good. I think I entered the order at 51, and then the ask broke 51. Like, the bid went below, and I canceled. I don't know, like I don't know, just, and then here also I tried to adding, but I never really added. But now one thing that I thought about this, I always say that, but like I said that to myself, but I never really follow it, is that I should, like, after this happens, because this is the ad right here, this is the perfect ad. After this happens, I should imagine that I'm already in. Like, I should just imagine that I'm already full size, and then just, but I'm actually not. So then when it has the dip with the relatively same price, I should just enter, because it doesn't matter where on the chart you enter, because the price is the same. You just have to think that you're already, so just put this arrow here, even though it's actually here. You know, like, that doesn't matter when you enter, because you should be already in, and you should already have your 25 risk. But I just didn't, because I didn't want to take $25 loss because it was weak. But I shouldn't even think about that, because you already had this first confirmation, and then what happens after, it is bullish as long as it's above my risk level.
Of course.
So yeah, I tried here. I tried here, somewhere here, and I don't think I even tried here, because I was like, okay, this is the second low, but who cares? Like, I should already be in. Yeah. So I had this 2. Look how it held 50 2 times.
Beautiful.
And then this is interesting thing happened here. So here again, I really I told myself I'm just gonna sell into the closing price, so I don't want to hold in this market overnight. And then out of nowhere, it started to spike. So and I was like, okay, now I wish I added, because here I was like, no, I'm not adding. And then I was like, I wish I added. So yeah, then it broke this high day, and then I think the 319. I was like, oh, HMBL comeback, and then I look at my phone, Tim alert, buying HMBL, and I'm like, whoa, 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 and I alerted all the Discord that I have. I put the alert sign. I was like, oh, what should I what should I do now? Because I know some traders, they're like rule number one is cut loss quickly. Rule number two is sell when size buys. So yeah, right when it happened, after like a few minutes, not a few minutes, few seconds, I sold here, because the alert came here, but obviously he caused this because he writes the alert after he buys, so he probably bought somewhere here and then it spiked and then he alerted. So this arrow should actually be like somewhere here. So I sold here my third, half. That was a 3R. This sell was just impulsive because I just like it happened very quickly. My mind was all messed up. But then this one was perfect. This next one, I waited and then I sold when 56 looked a little weak, because sometimes when Tim buys, it can like spike and then drop. Like it doesn't usually go like all the way up. So I just wanted to play it safe. I didn't want to hold overnight. I just wanted to play it safe. So I sold there, and it turned out to be, I didn't even look at anything. I mean, I knew that 56 was 4R. That was like my target from the beginning. So I sold there my last, and it was, like if 3-4, it's 3.5R. It was like a $44 game, but yeah, I just wish I went. I mean, I'm satisfied that I didn't go full size, like meaning the $30 risk, but I should have went like with some, meaning like $25, like not full size, meaning my overall full size, but on the trade I only use half of the size because I meant to only use starter. So I should have definitely added or just went all in right away. So this was a nice trade because I waited all week for this. This was a perfect...
literally all week for this.
Yeah, I remember the day before in my journal, I said I cannot call this day a day on Thursday. It was so stupid, and I said like just when my trade comes, I said I will drop a hammer on it, but that definitely wasn't a perfect one. But I still like dropped a small hammer, like Gritani said a while ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a nice way to end the week. I only have 2 trades. So one of them was $30 loss and 48 gain. So yeah,
fantastic.
not bad.
Risk reward.
Yeah, and quickly I want to go over this because this is this was on this day. Look, this is perfect. You have the trend break, then consolidation, and the next break. So it's exactly like SHMP,
little descending triangle.
I was talking about. So this is exactly the same pattern that I missed in, I think, August. This is right. This is huge. You have the swizzle entry on the high day break or even below, and then 20R right there, 18. So yeah, this was a perfect swizzle that I missed because I was managing my other trade. But the only mistake here is just I should have just taken it, because that doesn't matter that I have, like, I think I talked about it in the last episode. When I have one position, I don't want to get another one, so I only focus on one. But this was perfect. Like I should have taken this. So yeah, this was everything from this week. See, like only 3-4 perfect setups, I think, and I took 2 of them, so not bad. Yeah, that's all.
Awesome. Patiently waiting for the best. Literally waiting all week for HMBL till Friday afternoon.
Literally,
and
like
it came and you nailed it. So.
Like my October to all month was waiting for one trade, and he came. In
the literally. Yeah, literally.
Fridays are my best days.
Yeah, that's amazing. You got anything else, Alex?
Nope.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna share my screen really quick. This was a first green day that did not end up being a first green day at all. It's a weed stock. It had news. This was on Monday. As you can see, this really good basing action at VWAP right here got a huge spike. I really don't like to see this opening this far under VWAP, but since we got this spike to VWAP, I'm sure Xander looks for like a VWAP short on this, but actually probably not because of this. But anyways, I didn't like that it opened here, but after it started forming this basing right here at this blue line right here in the 330s at this low a day, you know, it held here, it held here, it held here. It tried to crack down here, but it didn't. So I waited for the break of this trend line right here. I entered right here at 340. I took a third of my position off right here at 345. And then I moved my risk up right here to 340. So break even and got my other 2/3 out. This was a really small scratch win. Yeah, so that was basically it. I took what I got, and even though, you know, a little bit more volume started to come back, it couldn't reclaim VWAP. So that's fine. That was on Monday. My next trade was on Friday. I actually didn't trade Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Let me go to PHUN, and this is where it is a great time to literally copy word for word Xander's lessons into my lessons, because I'm going through the exact same thing. Xander said to focus on stuff that's only his setup and not to, you know, waver from his process. And when he follows his process, it works out for him. And when he doesn't, it doesn't. I'm in the exact same position right now. Xander said he's got to clean up some of that discipline for only his setup. Again, I'm in the exact same spot. Like Xander short sells, I long listed, and we have the same lessons this week. So this was on Friday. First of all, I stayed at my screen way too long. Usually I turn my computer off at 11:15 market time if I'm not already in a trade. Made that mistake here. After not trading for 3 days, and I basically let boredom trading get to me. I drew this random freaking wedge. I don't even know what this is.
I honestly had no idea where it ended.
Yeah, I know. I wish
Because,
you would
like,
have said something. Like, Lance, what the hell are you doing? I wish you
well,
would have said something, but it's
because
fine.
it was below VWAP, like that's why.
Yeah, okay. So anyways, after this crack right here, I should have taken it off my radar completely. I leave my screens at 11 usually. Again, I let boredom trading get to me. I stayed at my screens for who knows why. My freaking brain was mush by this time. I drew a random wedge, not at all my setup, not at all my niche. Can't explain to you why I did it, but, you know, this was me falling back into old habits that I don't do anymore. And, you know, this reminds me of, you know, Lance, what are you doing? This is not like, this is not you. But PHUN had news in the morning, you know, so it moved. It just doesn't really move with DWAC anymore. But yeah, so that was that on Friday. I want to go over a couple missed trades really quick. Lucid on Tuesday was its major first screen day. I watched this live and I have zero idea why I didn't trade this. I guess I've let the range get into my mind a little bit. I have no idea. I really have no excuse. It held this low in pre-market right here super well at 46.50. Drew my trend line right here, this super great wedge. You know, after it just kind of chop around, set its base, got my basing, drew my trend line. This support trend line at the bottom works perfect for guidance. I would never make any decisions based on it, but I drew it. As you can see, it held trend, all the way up here into the, let me move our faces, all the way up in here into the 53s. So, you know, 48 to the 53s, I wouldn't exit based on this. Anyways, I would have entered right here at 48, set my risk and be super small risk right here at 47.30. It's only 1.76% risk. I would have sold a third right here above 49.50, a third up here at 50.50, and then I would plan to sell my final third up here at 51.50. Again, that's best case scenario, hindsight, shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. I'm just reminiscing on the trader that I want to be in, what I know I'm capable of doing once I get my mindset right in the trade. As you can see, this ran all the way up into the 54s and then, you know, consolidated and ran even higher and higher and higher after hours. I feel like I'm scrolling and it just keeps going. So yeah, the next day, I mean, it went all the way up to 61. But this was the, you know, awesome first screen day right here on Lucid. Let me actually go to the daily chart on that really quick. That was this day right here. So as you can see, this is kind of almost OTC like, you know, it gets the spike and then it, you know, consolidates for a few days and then it gets that breakout on the daily chart. Actually, I kind of want to look at this now that Alex always brings in these 15-day, 15-minute charts. Oh yeah, okay. So I mean, kind of kind of. But anyways, yeah, that was lucid. That was lucid on Tuesday. I also, whoa, I'm frozen. It's freezing. Okay. Anyways, I also missed crap. Okay, I missed PPSI on Tuesday as well. Let me go back to the intraday. Not going to catch me clicking 3-day 1 minute anymore, so I can click it. Anyways, this is the same sort of thing. You know, it was really, really choppy in free market, but this was a beautiful wedge right out the open. You know, it spikes, comes under, faces up for me, exactly what I look for. Drew this trend line. Again, this is for guidance, not to trade based off of. Enter here at 770, risk VWAP right here at 757, small risk, sell half up here above 8 into this choppiness, set the risk for my other half right here at break even, then sell my other half right here above 820. Would have been a nice trade. Missed it. Again, I have no excuse. Just like Xander said, if he sees his setup this next week, he's trading it. I'm in the exact same boat. If I see my setup, I'm trading it. Let me go over something really quick from Thursday. Thursday, because Wednesday was freaking garbage. Wednesday was probably, yeah, I did not like Wednesday. This is one of my other setups that I have not seen work in a very long time. This is a multi-day trend line break, 3rd-day surge right out the open. And I haven't seen this work in a very long time. Usually when I draw my trend lines, I've been just getting chop in pre-market and then it dies, and so it doesn't happen. But this one worked out very, very well. As you can see, we get the spike day, we get the consolidation day. It kind of holds its gains. I drew my trend line right here. It set, you know, this is after hours. And then, you know, I got this, you know, Tim Bowen style dip and rip right here. I would have entered right here at 40. I wouldn't have risked low a day. I would have just risked this level right here at VWAP at 39.25. I would have sold my first half up here at 41.50 and then set the risk for my second half right here at 40.14, just about break even. Sold my second half right here above 42. Had a nice little trade. So yeah, that was that on Thursday. Again, that's one of my other setups. I haven't seen it in a while. I'm gonna go over one more. Sorry guys, I'm kind of just rattling off the top of my brain right now.
Slow down.
Sorry. Yeah, I feel like I'm just talking too fast. LGVN on its crazy day. These I drew in hindsight. I wouldn't enter either of these two places, but in the afternoon, once it, you know, came back down to VWAP, it had a death candle here, but it instantly recovered. So when a death candle instantly recovers, that is a bullish sign. And it started basing up really good right here around VWAP. And I said to myself, I put this arrow here at 1439. I said, I'm going to paper trade this. I want to see how my strategy works in the afternoon, because I haven't really been paying attention to a ton of afternoon recently. And, you know, so I entered there, and literally 2 minutes later, it goes freaking parabolic and it halts at 792, and then it unhalts even higher. I threw one of my shoes across the room, and I wasn't mad because of how much it ran. I was mad because, I mean, okay, let me see this. Obviously, emotions and trading have to be completely separate, but I just was reminiscing to myself, what was I doing paper trading? I haven't paper traded in a long ass time. Why am I paper trading? I know what I need to see for my setup, and I saw it here, but I still said, oh, let me paper trade. So I'm not upset about how much it ran. Even if this slowly, you know, grinded up to the 720s, 740s, still, yes, it ran huge. Yes, it was all that, but shoulda, coulda, woulda, hindsight, whatever. But I was upset that I let an opportunity go with my setup that I know I was capable of making, and not how much it ran. That's important. I was never focusing on, you know, the money at all, green or profits or, you know, getting a trade in. I was just upset, you know, here's my setup. Here is an opportunity, and I didn't capitalize on it. And as Xander said, if he sees a setup, he's trading it. Same exact thing for me. If I see my setup, I'm trading it. And, you know, like Xander said, that when he follows this process, everything works better for him. Sorry, did you say something?
Honestly, I don't think you should be too hard on yourself if this is a little different than your normal like setup. Like technically it is your setup, but like you said, you haven't really done it in the afternoon. So I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. Like you're really emotional about it because it's like it was crazy and it really, really worked. But yeah, it's like a little different. And with me, I actually got really emotional about something similar to this. In late October, Like I said, I'm getting into the end of day clearouts where they break over high day and then they
Yep.
fade. And it literally happened on LGVN. You could see right there. It had that huge stuff clear out move, and then it faded the rest of the day or until the close. That's
Yep.
the setup. You short at high a day and above, and then it fades. And it's a
Yep.
really good setup. But late October, one setup literally like picture perfect, like put it on your wall. It was literally so perfect, but I didn't trade it because it was the first time I had ever witnessed the setup. Of
Yeah.
course, I knew all about the setup because I've been studying it. But the first time I saw it, I didn't take it because I was like I was a little hesitant because I hadn't really seen
Yeah,
it
obviously, 'cause
live
the
before.
first time, yeah.
But it was perfect, and I got really emotional about it. And there was no reason for me to be emotional because the setup happens pretty frequently. And basically the message is it's gonna happen again. The good part is that you witnessed it, and now you know, okay, my setup works in this time frame.
No, yeah, that is a great point, Xander. I really like what you said there about, obviously it's a different time of day, and as you just described how it went with you, I'm like relating to those exact same things. Like, what you needed to see, but you were like a little hesitant because it wasn't like your exact like timing or whatever. And you guys are hearing me go back to Xander's lessons a lot in this episode. And that is the main reason being because I'm literally everything that he said, I'm like, okay, literally I was gonna say that. That's exactly what I'm going through. And I'm really relating to the lessons that Xander was saying earlier. And so yeah, I really agree with that. Xander, thank you. I don't want to say like I'm emotional. Obviously I was in the moment. I was freaking emotional in the moment. I chucked a shoe across the room and I went in the bathroom, took a piss. I was like, why didn't I take
Oh
a
my
trade?
gosh.
And that can never happen. That's never gonna happen again. I think it was just because I saw it spike so fast and I
Yeah,
was
of
ready
course.
that it just put me into a state of craziness.
Yeah, well,
But yeah,
Well-
that's it. That's all I'm gonna go over in terms of my
Something
trades.
else
Alex
I
is
want to
gonna say,
note
yeah, what's up?
is with your setup might work really good in the last hour because a lot of the time shorts will cover their position before market close, and that causes the stocks to spike. And so
Right.
if you can combine that time frame, the last hour, specifically the last 30 minutes, with your setup somehow, that'll be really good. Like if you want to back test that.
Yeah, that's really important. I do need to get better with different times of day. All I know right now is that in between 10 and 11 a.m. is my sweet spot. And I'm usually always doing college stuff from 2 to 4 anyways. So and then I'll occasionally look for like late day OTCs if anything looks optimal. But yeah, definitely experiencing with different time of days and tracking and back testing. I really haven't gotten into tracking as much as I should, and I feel like it would be beneficial for me in some ways. So yeah, do you guys have anything else to add before I take this chart off?
I actually have to go. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Thank you,
I will
Xander.
see you guys in the next one. This was a great episode. Like you said, a lot of great points. But yeah, have a good open discussion. I'll see you guys in the next one.
see you.
All right, Xander. See you, man. Thank
Have a
you.
good week. Bye.
As you guys can see, Xander just had to head out, but me and Alex are just going to get in some quick final thoughts, whatever open discussion we want to add to close out this episode. So yeah, that's it. Let's get into it. Alex, I know you had something on your mind.
Yeah, I wanted to add, like, when you said that when you missed that entry, you then like threw your shoe, all that. So like what I do every time, like I just take the L and sometimes I just lay on the floor or I just like when I see like when I miss my entry and it works, I'm just like just walking in my room and I'm like, it's actually working and I'm not in. Like
Yeah.
it's so weird.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because I was only like actually emotional for about 5 seconds. Then I just got like super quiet and I went back to my chair. I
Yeah.
sat down and I was just watching it. I watched it on halt. I was watching it. And, at that point, probably not even 10 minutes later, I was like, this isn't doing, I said, me saying I should have done this, could have done this, whatever, isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
All I can do is put it behind me and focus on the next trade. And from then on, it was out of my mind. completely. I basically forgot about it after 10 minutes, which is amazing. I forgot
Nice,
about it.
nice.
I
Oh yeah.
forgot about it after 10 minutes, and I put it completely out of my mind. And that was important. And I think that was one of the reasons why I stuck around so long on Friday and made a trade I shouldn't have made, was because I don't know what it was, man. I mean,
Oh wait,
trading is just such
when
a
was that trade? Like missed trade on
what
Thursday?
what what do you mean?
The
Oh, it was
the
on
one.
Thursday. It was
Oh,
on
okay,
Thursday.
okay. Then it makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, everyone all the viewers out there who are like active traders know that like there's so many, weird mental
Yeah.
like circumstances that you're gonna go through when you're trading, and you're like, oh no, that's not me. I'll never do that. And then it ends up happening. And you're like, oh, I didn't know this could happen. I didn't know I was capable of doing this. And it's just there's so many layers to trading. It's not as like black and white. So many people think it's just like, oh yeah, buy low, sell high. Ha 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 ha. Absolutely not. There's so many layers. Like think about it like layers on a cake. If trading was a cake, there's no freaking one layer. It's got like a million layers on that cake, and that's trading.
And all different sizes.
Yeah, all different kinds. Like you're mixing freaking strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, freaking
And
red velvet.
the shape of the cake is like this.
Yeah, this is no circle or square cake. We got a freaking zigzag, jagged
Yeah,
cake with.
it's like, so when I was like, remember when I said that I wanted to add, like during that hour, I was like, I should add. Oh no, oh no, it's late. Oh no, it's breaking down. Should I add? No,
Yeah.
the market is bad. No, I should add full size. Literally
No, seriously.
everything went through my mind.
It's like your mind is like going back and forth. This, jump around. This, and that's just how the markets are. I mean, every freaking minute we're watching a new candle form, and we're like, we never know what's going to happen. Anyone who claims that they know for sure what is going to happen, I mean, obviously sometimes people get lucky and then they can hindsight all they want, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but nobody truly knows. It's a game of reaction. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that analogy though that we were just talking about with trading
the
being like
cake.
a cake and all the layers and the shape and just mind running like that whole hour, dude. I'm sure your mind was, as you just explained, full size, the
Yeah.
market. I need to do this. Should I add?
Well, it's sort of like every factor was there, but at the end of the day, I just always say I should just be like a robot.
Yeah.
It's like I should just like that the number I should have shares. So it doesn't matter what the stock does, because after that moment passes, that's when I should have that number of shares. And after it just doesn't matter what happens after.
Yeah, definitely. And that's where it just comes down. Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I forgot to share, but there's only one six-figure trader. He had the same first entry on HMBL, but
Oh,
then
beautiful.
I think I shared in our Discord. He then
Yep,
added.
I saw it.
He added, but that was like no, that wasn't the best ad, but he still added. Like he didn't care that it was like above his risk or like above his entry, like all that. I mean, the ad wasn't that big, but I also wanted to add. I had only 1,000 shares, and I wanted to just add 300.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I don't know, like see like how he has the experience and he just didn't hesitate, he just added. But I was like debating like a million times, like talking with a trader also about this. Like a million things went to my mind. I just had to just click it and just forget about everything, just click it.
Yeah, definitely. And how you were just talking about, with your mind going back and forth, should I add the market full size, this? It all comes down to the fact that, trading, it's so easy to overthink everything that you see. And being an overthinker before trading, like myself, I don't know if you like have been an overthinker in a lot of things outside of trading, but I know that I am. And, when you go into trading, it's just so important to keep things simple. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Look at it for how you see it, remain objective, and just, you know what you have to see in terms of technicals and your size and positions. But then your mind comes in and it's just like, no. So, it's just, yeah, like we were talking about with the cake, there's so many layers, and, no one ever completely figures it out. There's always more to be done. So,
yeah, there's never an and final like. Do you have like a solution that works every time? you don't have like one variable that you can use and it's gonna work every time. Every time the variable differs. So
Yeah, definitely.
um,
As you guys know, if you have been steady viewers of the Next Gen Traders YouTube channel, we have been saying over the past few months that can't wait for November, can't wait for mid-November, can't wait for, the market starts to start heating up in the winter. Oh, can't wait for Thanksgiving. The week before Thanksgiving is gonna be awesome. I feel like you guys have been watching us say, we're anticipating that the market's going to heat up by X time. And we are in that X time
yes.
right now, and it
Okay.
has gone freaking fast. We've been doing these episodes since June, June, July, August, September, October, almost 6 months in. That's
Oh my gosh.
freaking crazy, first of all. And you can, that just shows that you can anticipate all you want in the market, but time just flies so fast that we're in this moment now. And Alex, as Alex talked about with the OTC market, it's still pretty slow, and he waited all week for HMBL. That just shows that, no one really knows what's going to happen with the market. Like, we've been anticipating, mid-November, OTC markets start to heat up, small caps start to get even hotter, but we're sitting here, we're still chilling. And obviously there's not going to be another like last year, like 2020 winter run,
Yeah.
but a little bit more, pick up and get up would definitely be sufficient. So,
But the good thing is that even though we said that, we we didn't like size up quickly when the November
Right.
started. We're just
Yeah.
reacting. We just said because there were our assumptions based on the previous years.
Right.
So we didn't like do anything. We just said what we want. We didn't so we didn't do anything bad. And one thing, I remember I told you that in September it was better. Seriously,
Yeah.
it's September it was better. Like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember like back in like before September, there's like an event that's coming up soon, and that was already planned, but that was gonna happen like November 27th. And by that time, I was like, because every time I think about anything in the future, the first thing I think is, oh, by that time I'll be there, like in my trading.
Right.
Because like even like I think about somewhere I'm gonna go during summer, and I say, oh, but by that time, like 6 months, I'm gonna have 6 monthly P&Ls. Like, I think about in this terms, and I was like, oh, by November, oh my god, and that's market's gonna be hot by that time. And then 1 week left, like, to that event, and nothing changed.
Yeah, seriously. And you are a perfect example of that reaction, because you said a few weeks ago, you said, I'm going to take one more trade with $30 risk, and after that, I'm going to size up.
Yeah, and
if you recognize that this market is slow, you don't want to size up for more than $30 risk, because those plays aren't coming. That is a perfect example of reacting. You were like, okay, I'm going to take one more trade, $30 risk, then I'm going to size up.
Yeah.
But you haven't, and you recognize the price action that you're getting, and that is very important for all the viewers out there. Alex is a perfect example of that reaction and not sizing up when plays aren't there.
Perfect example of a sniper trading, huh?
Yeah, seriously, sniper trading. That's in and out when you see what you need to see for your edge, and
that's the difference that I took from my October. Because in October, remember, I had 8 losing trades in a row. Then one made it all back, and I was like, why? Like, of course, like it made it all back and even more. But why do I need to take those little trades? Because like if the little trades, they're not perfect. So see, this week I only had 2 trades, and both of them, like HYSR, even though it was $3 loss, it was the setup was there. Like, it was an almost A+ setup, and the same thing was on HMBL. There were a lot of like what's it called, like non-ideal trades,
right?
But I didn't take any of them, because my mindset after the October, I was like, I'm just gonna take only my trades. Like, but it doesn't mean, I think I said that I'm gonna go full size right away, but of course that's not correct, because even though it's your setup, it's still maybe the time you first enter is not the most confirmation entry. So yeah, I just trade only my setups. Like, I'm just getting rid of all this little garbage trades.
Yeah, I relate to that very, very much. And very, very important. Like once you find your niche, once you find your setup, once you find your edge, tunnel vision, baby. It is towards that and eliminating everything else that's not that you know is not in that setup. So
And one thing is, I know a lot of traders in the beginning they like traded a lot of patterns, setups, and then they found the one. But I started with only 3, and I never really like went anywhere else. So I don't like you know how they say track your setups so you know which one is better. But I don't. Obviously I track my setups, but they're all the same in terms of like
right.
profits or anything, because I know that's what I can like. Even if my number is going to be bad on breakouts, I'm still going to trade it because I know that's my pattern and I know how to trade it. Even if because the numbers can be bad because of 1-2 trades. For example, my first green days, I'm overall down, but that's because I lost like 300 on that in March. So because I didn't know how to trade them. So that means,
Right.
and now I'm down like 20, 50 bucks. So that means since then I made the money. So that means I know how to trade them now. So yeah, I just, my 2 main are, I mean, the best one is breakouts, but the first unit like HMBL. Like sometimes when they happen, like I trade because most of the time first green days are also breakouts, like potential breakouts, but this one was just a reversal. So they're also nice. And the panics are just no comments on that one.
Yeah.
I fear that it's not gonna come back the way it was.
Oh, the way it was.
Because
Yeah, I don't
probably
think they're gonna be
everyone learned
nearly as
how to
clean.
trade them. Everyone learned how to trade them, and now it's not working.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how that works. But like when you look at your March and you said you were down in first green day because you lost a couple hundred, looking at your March stats and looking at October, November, it's like looking at a completely different
Yeah,
trader because the
obviously.
experience over the month is just so drastic that it almost doesn't even really help you to like reminisce on those stats anymore
Yeah.
because you know for a fact that you wouldn't trade like that anymore anyways.
Yes.
So it's just overgoing, becoming the trader you want to be. And every month that goes on, every week, every month, every day, obviously like small, bigger, biggest, day, week, month, and those lessons just grow and you start to, what's the word? You start to go into, what's the word? I don't know what word I'm looking for, but you start to, form yourself into like a better version of yourself and becoming the better trader that you've been working your ass off for, so many days in a row. And that's where it's important for all the viewers out there. Like nothing's ever gonna, come in, fast or in like the time frame that you think. That it's very, very trading's a very, very timeless field of work. I think that's very important to say. So
yeah, I think every problem that I have right now, the only thing that's gonna solve that is the time. Like
yeah,
everything just because I don't have like any technical mistakes that like I know how to change them, like how to fix them. The only ones I have are just the ones that I'm not aware about.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, and
I
you
know
know
like
that and you recognize it.
even if even if I don't see any mistakes now, I know there are gonna be some in the future because I'm gonna be trading more and seeing more ways my setups play out and so and that's why I need the hot market so I have more plays and I can see the charts from everything and combine it into one piece, put it in my mind.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. And that's when like, a market heating up is not only beneficial for more plays. It
Yeah.
teaches you so many more lessons faster. Like traders who, started learning in a super hot market, they're thrown right into the fire right away. When, if you start learning in like a much slower market, the learning curve is much, much different depending on what market you start in. And that's when it's important to not expect anything else either. Like if you start in a hot market, you can't expect that to be the norm,
And also when you start in the market you learn quickly, but you know only those patterns that work right at that moment. Like you don't know anything other than that. That was the main reason why because I literally learned everything about panics in 1 month. Literally in 1 month I learned everything about panics, like in 10 trades I think. Like I know everything about panics in just 10 trades. But so I knew everything, but then when they stopped working I lost because I didn't know the other things. So like it helps you to learn quickly those specific patterns. We just have to recognize that the market changes and all that. So yeah, when you start in the hot market, it's good and bad. So
Yeah, definitely. Just got to put in your time every single day, improving 1%. So that's about it. That's all I got. Do you have anything
yeah,
else?
same.
Awesome. Yeah, that second segment that we just had there, we just was like we were just speaking what was on our mind. I think that was really beneficial. But is that all you got? I think that's
Yeah.
all we got here. So thank you guys for watching this episode. We covered a lot of different really good lessons here. Obviously Xander left early, but that's completely okay. He had to go eat dinner. Someone was calling from downstairs. Xander, come down and get dinner. But yeah, so that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you want to hear more or hear and see more of our episodes. Looking forward to keep making these as the winter market comes and hopefully brings a little bit more volatility to it. So yeah, that's about it. We're out of here. We'll see you guys in next week's episode, and that's all we got. So have a great Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Make sure to get some work in this weekend. Study up. Markets close Thursday. And I'd say that's all we got. So cheers, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.